Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Tony and this is TC's Outdoors. So see, I got my cute little helper Natalie with me today. So today we're going to do a garden video. She's going to help me put the trellises up and hopefully get the tomatoes tied up. So, but first I want to give you guys a chicken update. They're getting big fast here.
Very big fast.
I think they're somewhere around the, I don't know, 3 weeks old or something like that. So they're starting to feather out. They're a little terrified of the camera though, so I don't know how much footage we'll get of them, but I'll do my best. So here we go. Alright, so come over here now. There's Big Mama. The wing feathers are really coming in.
That one's got some cool colors.
Yeah,
too.
they're starting to get pretty.
The one back, all the way back there's got some.
They're losing the fluffy. Maybe we can get over here and get some sunlight, get some better light for you. Maybe not. Oh, there we are. We don't have any names for them. If you guys want to help us name them, we can try that. We don't normally name our chickens unless they're like overly friendly. Especially when we have
chicken. She just died this past year. She had one dot on her feather, on her wood feather, so we named her Dot, and she was like a dog.
She was like a dog. She would come in the garage and stand between my feet while I was working on stuff. But she was 7 years old, and unfortunately, she just died not too long ago. But so either way, I mean, when we've got 5 or 6 chickens that are the same breed, it's really hard to tell them apart unless they have some type of personality. And for the most part, in our experience, chickens aren't the most friendliest animals. Some of them are. But, so why don't you get a scoop of food, honey, and we'll throw it down, and then they can work on scratching. See how Mama's trying to scratch for them.
Those other ones.
Yeah.
Those.
There you go, Big Mama. All right, guys. So there's the chicken update. Everybody's healthy and happy. At least I think they're happy. They seem happy. So
Mama's definitely got a little bit more control with us coming out here.
Yep. So here we go. All right. So we're gonna head back over to the garden and we'll get set up and we'll go from there.
Bye, chickies.
There's the big flock. They're all happy too, scratching.
Yeah.
If you've never had chickens, you should get some. You could stand out here all day and watch them scratch and just live their best life. All right, so I measured off camera so that I can catch the cattle panel so we can overlap them. So I only need 3 posts. So, and I marked, and there's 100% chance that there'll be a rock where I need to put this, but I'm still gonna try. Oh shoot, can you?
Yeah, I tried to get it off.
These things are so tall. All right, I got the T-posts in, and They're pretty straight. They're good enough, I hope. But so now what I'll take is I'll take a cattle panel, and my wife and I will kind of fold it in half, but not crease it, and we'll walk down and we will zip tie it on to the T-posts, and then we'll just repeat the process and get all 3 of them up, and that'll be our trellis. So. And Natalie is going to zip tie.
What side is that supposed to?
On the inside.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So we'll take this one, basically stand it up. Maybe easier from the inside, because you're going to be walking in the garden boxes. Whoa.
I'm not very good at this.
So, perfect. Hold on, let go.
Cool.
It's got to go. There we go.
Like that?
Yep, perfect.
Are you ready for it?
Teamwork makes the dream work. These cattle panels are pretty stiff.
They are.
Yep. A couple on this one.
Make the round thing.
Yep. We can just do a few for now, and then we can come back and really get after it.
Yeah, you got that.
Hold on, because we're
Yep, hold on, I gotta center it up. Hold on. Perfect. Alright, you wanna grab these ones, honey? Right here. There's no like right or wrong. Just as long as it's around the fence and around the T-post.
Muscles.
We can pick those up later because we're gonna have to use them anyhow. Now okay, you can work on that while your mom and I get the other. Oh, okay. Camera lady. Yep. So let's walk out this way. Stand it up on end. Don't bend it. Or don't crease it, I guess. Maybe.
Hold on.
If you just keep it from getting caught on the back, maybe I can just walk it in like this.
You want it over the top or underneath that one?
Underneath, that way I can catch which is going to be a pain, but I know I can do it. So we've done it before. Ouch, that's my hand. I guess I don't need all 3.
Nope. 2's perfect.
2 is perfect. Well, I guess I'll have to find a use for that other cattle panel.
Ideally, the cucumbers are going to grow up and over.
Plan. And we could put peas on this side, or even some smaller melons of some kind.
Yeah.
They would grow up it.
Watermelon?
I don't know if you can trellis watermelon. They might be too heavy. If anybody out there knows if you can trellis watermelon, maybe let me know in the comments, because the only thing I've ever trellised was peas and cucumbers and tomatoes. I did try to lay a fence panel down at an angle one time and trellis tomatoes, and that works okay, but not great. So, Natalie, you want to bring the camera over here? You can give them a tour.
So you see this? It's like an arch. It's really cool. Yeah, so you walk in and you look up. There's like fencing, and then there's the plants are right there.
What are those?
Cucumbers. Yes. And then over there are some green peppers. And then you walk forward. You see my dad.
Hi. So the plan would be to maybe, I've never had anything grow all the way to the top of the trellis up there, but I thought it would be kind of cool to create some shade and just kind of a neat little feature in the vegetable garden. But these cattle panels are super durable, and I think they'll last the test of time out here for us, which will be nice. So, oh, Natalie's got something to say.
Okay. So, if you do know if you can trellis watermelon, please tell me, because I really like watermelon. What's up? We're back over here.
Back to you, guys. Okay, so this will be the Florida weave. Sorry you guys are so far away, but the camera keeps overheating, so I have to find some kind of shade structure in order to keep. Yeah, we do have an umbrella. So for the tomatoes, the way I trellis them up, I don't use tomato cages because they fall over, and it's irritating when they're all full of fruit and then they fall over, and then you get all kinds of rot and stuff if you don't get them up off the ground soon enough. So I like to use the Florida weave. It's kind of a pain as far as pruning and stuff goes, but once you kind of get the hang of it, it's not bad. So I'm not all that sure that these tomatoes are going to make it. They're pretty wilty. These were those real root-bound ones you guys saw me plant a little while ago, but either way, so I'm going to put a T-post at the end of each bed, and then I'll put one in the center so that we can run the twine down in it. And so we'll get the T-posts in, and we'll probably kick into high gear for that. And we'll get the T-posts in, we'll get some twine, and see if we can get a couple of these tied up. So here we go. Oh boy, I'd say I hit a rock. Cheap. Cheap. Yeah, I must have. That's worth $5. So I couldn't find any T-posts at pretty much anywhere locally, and the only ones I could find were these really thin. And I only bought 2, and I'm glad because I just bent that one in half. I don't think. Okay. Note to self, don't be too aggressive with the thin T-posts. So this part's kind of a pain in the butt to get started, but you just tie some twine, or the way I do it anyways, I'll tie some twine on the end and kind of weave the plants all the way down, and then come back and make sure that you're going on the opposite side of the plant that you went on the first time. And so first, let me just tie this on here, and we'll go from there. So, if I don't know what's easier, maybe if you maybe hold the plant, or you want to hold the twine. Yeah. So we gotta be able to hold it tight. And then we'll just so we'll go on that side of that one, and then we'll go. They're all tangled up. Go down. Scooch her down just a hair. There we go. And then on this side of that one. And then this side of that one. Around this a couple times and pull it tight. Scooch. Kind of high there, aren't we? Hi, Lacey. Say hi, Lacey. So on the side of that one, and then can you go over that one, and on this side of that one. And then go around that post a couple times. And try to keep it as tight as you can. Well, there's the Florida weave. I don't know, some of these we might have to go another rung here on some of these taller ones. I don't know if all the plants are tall enough for me to go one more row or not, but the basic gist of it is one plant supports the other plant as far as when you're wrapping it like this, and then it's just hemp twine, so as the plant grows it'll be able to spread apart the twine. And we'll have to come out and make sure that we pinch off all of the suckers and stuff like that little guy right there. Anything that, here's another one. So that'll be my next ordeal. Just come out and get these all pruned up, and if I stay at it, it won't be too bad. It is kind of, the bigger they get, the harder it gets to do the wrapping, but it's so far that's what's worked best for us. So. But either way, so I appreciate you guys taking the time and hanging out with me today, watching the video. If you like this kind of stuff, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and share it with your friends. And until next time, maybe I can get Tracy in there too. Say hi, Trey.
Hi.
Say bye, Trey.
Bye.
All right, so until next time, get outdoors and do something you love.